From wherever.
Yeah, wherever. Yeah.
Alright. Yo, man, Lemsy.
Yes.
What are you saying about George Foreman?
A big legend in the sport, in just sport in general, you know, but in boxing specifically. It's a very sad loss. And I'm excited to hear some of your reflections on his career.
Most definitely, man. What age? 76. I'm here. Is it age 76?
Yeah, they passed. Yeah.
When was it? Yesterday, innit?
Yeah, I believe so. What are we now? I don't know where we are.
I think today's 22nd.
Yeah, something like that.
So the 21st, he passed away. R.I.P. man.
R.I.P.
One of the greatest to ever do it. Top 10 in most people's heavyweight lists. You know, top 10 to ever do it.
That would make sense.
So he belongs amongst the Muhammad Ali's, the Joe Frazier's, the Ken Nortons. Yeah. You know all those big names.
Yeah, the household names of
all
boxing.
the household names. And talk about household names, George Foreman Grill.
Yeah. I like that segue.
You know what I mean? George Foreman Grill, basically. So he's an entrepreneur as well. After he retired. So he's been a household name before he became an entrepreneur, obviously. You know what I mean? You know, but great, man. How old was he when he made his debut? I'm not sure.
He was young.
I'm not sure.
He made his debut, you said in 69, I believe.
Yeah, but one thing that surprised me though, he fought Ali when he was 25 years old.
And we just said that's in 74, so that means he made his debut when he was 20.
20 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so literally when Mike Tyson became the youngest world champion ever, same age, not the same time,
same age,
but the same
he
age.
Made his debut. I'm here.
But you know what even surprised me? Yeah, Ali is actually much older than George Foreman.
It's good 7 or 8 years.
That blew me away. You know what I'm saying?
I was shocked.
I thought that they were literally the same era, right?
Yeah, facts. They had the same era, but I thought they were because of the same era, they must be the same age as well. That's what I had in mind.
Or is it maybe Foreman was then what Dubois is now, where he bridges two different eras. You know, Dubois bridges. They're now Itama, and because it's still young, while the younger ones are coming up, innit? Because I think it's 27, probably 28. You know, and then at the same time connects to the Joshua era when AJ was the king, innit? We might as well call that the Joshua era, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So George Foreman, when he beat Muhammad Ali in 74, it wasn't heavyweight for too long because he lost to Ali obviously in the same year. Rumble in the Jungle. Yeah. One of the biggest fights in the history of the sports.
Of all time.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Documented fights, celebrated fights.
Exactly.
And everything.
And not two US fighters not fighting in the US.
Which is huge. Two black men went
back
to Africa.
Is that not what they're blaming Turkey Al Sheikh for right now? Saying some of the big fights not happening in the fighters' home soil, and especially the Americans. They don't really like that, do they?
They never do, because Americans like monopolies. But that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, exactly. You're putting on your you're putting on your
hat that just
your
came.
political. That's the one. Yeah, and talking about fights outside of fighters' home grounds, home soils. Thriller Manila was one as well.
Yeah, another humongous fight.
Again,
which Philippines this time, which I got wrong initially.
Yeah. Who was Thriller Manila? That was Joe Frazier. Frazier and Ali, right? Yeah. So that's another big fight outside of the US fighters' home soil. But back to Foreman. After losing to Ali, he did get a couple more wins after that, didn't he? Yeah. But he retired. Actually, he retired. He retired after Ali.
You can look at his whole career in terms of wins and losses as well, and the ratio is crazy.
Exactly. He's only lost 5 out of what?
76 fights.
And how
71, many? I think it said 68 of them were knockouts.
68 of them were knockouts.
Yeah. 68
KO
my out of 76.
And get this, some of the names that he's beaten, have been some of the toughest.
Yeah.
Toughest.
Joe Frazier twice.
Joe Frazier twice.
Yeah.
Ken Norton. Yeah. And he beat a young what's it called? Title hungry fighter in Morrison.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He beat what? That was for the vacant. Was it vacant WBC or the vacant WBO? I think it was for WBC or WBO. I think, and he must have been a big name, and we know this for sure because right after, actually, did he beat Morrison? He lost to Morrison. He lost.
Morrison's
to Morrison.
One of the ones, and
Morrison beat him. Yeah, Morrison beat him. What am I talking? What am I talking about? Morrison beat him, innit? Yeah, Morrison beat him because he lost to Holyfield.
That's it.
And then a couple fights later, he lost to Morrison. Yeah. When did he fight? He fought Holyfield in 91.
Yeah, and then one was 93.
Morrison was 93.
Yeah, and then Moore was 94.
Michael Moore, yeah. And he beat Moore, innit?
Moore, that's it, yeah.
He
lost to Moore as well. That was the other loss that he had on his record.
Yeah, he lost to Moore, yeah?
Yeah.
So who did he beat for the title? He beat Mora.
Was it Mora for the title?
74.
Okay.
Because right after losing to Morrison.
Oh yeah, you said he had the.
He got the IBF.
He
went for the IBF with Michael Mora.
Yeah.
You understand?
You're right,
exactly.
You're right.
But come on, since when does the IBF do this? Have someone competing for a championship right after a loss.
Yeah, facts. That doesn't really happen. You have to be
unless you're Anthony Joshua, right?
You have to be one of those names, right?
Exactly. Like, Canelo, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, we want to see.
You understand? Saul Canelo Alvarez, he lost trying to get a title from Dimitri Bivol, and right after that, he wanted the rematch. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua trying to get a straight rematch, another a title shot off the back of losing to Dubois, and not only that, I mean, he did pull out of that fight.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
But now he's he's saying he wants to get a title next, so he's looking for a title fight right off the back of the strength of his name, really, and a loss.
Yeah.
So George Foreman, could he have been the size of Anthony Joshua back then? Do you think?
Yeah.
Possibly, innit?
Yeah. I think so. I think he must have been.
Because think about it, literally those days, George Foreman's time when he was in his prime. Because imagine, they are just coming off the back of 2 world wars.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, less than a century separating the last World War from that time, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Because World War II ended 1945.
Exactly.
And he made his debut 69. So we're talking nearly 25 years. But in that time, obviously, there's a lot of stuff happening in America as well.
Yeah,
where veterans are not being treated properly. It's not like they got a warm welcome home. So in the country, and they're even doing civil rights. Like that's peak civil rights era in the 60s as well. So
it's all about standing up.
Yeah, it's about fight. It's literally about fighting.
You know what I'm saying? So everybody was more into boxing back then. You might as well say.
Yeah.
Not like now.
Like, you're fighting a fight that we're all still fighting.
And there's a sort of honor and something like attached to it that's honourable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people more how can I say? It's like if you can't stand up and fight, then how can you stand up for the greater good? Or how can you stand up for something real? You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think back then, those sort of thinking, people were more inclined towards that, and so people saw violence not always as a bad thing. You understand? So I think
the fabric of life.
Exactly. So boxing in a way kind of like is, like you said, a fabric, formed a nice neat fabric with that. You understand what I mean? So more people like boxing then. Boxing was way bigger then, isn't it? Way bigger.
I would have said so, yeah.
And like we mentioned, Manila and what did those 2 names have attached to Asia?
As in Manila and...
Like for example, let's take Manila first.
Yeah.
What did Ali and Frazier have attached to Manila? None of them were from there.
Exactly, yeah.
So, but the fight was still one of the biggest. Like, you understand what I mean? So that alone tells you just how big boxing was back then. And it's like the fans, I would say possibly there was a racial aspect when it comes to like the professional sports, and people trying to control it and kind of form, kind of push out their certain narrative. You understand what I mean? I don't want to get too, you know what I mean. Anyway, but the fans got to show you that the fans themselves, just wanted a fight. They just wanted a good fight.
Exactly.
The best fight for the best fight in the best.
You can take that anywhere in the world.
Exactly. So, wow, great, man. So, do you think today Anthony Joshua fighting, like, let's say Daniel Dubois is something that's, let's take out Rio season and the money that Rio season attracts, yeah?
Yeah.
They could go to a neutral ground, like maybe in Asia or in Africa.
Yeah, like Kenya or something.
Or in the US even, and it's going to be successful. It's going to be a successful fight. They don't have to depend on home fans like, that can fill up Wembley Stadium and those sort of things.
I don't know. And I feel like because a lot of it's attached to branding. How much the sponsors and branders brands want to put into the fight, innit? Because someone like Dubois, I actually don't imagine he has a huge international fan base like that.
What do you mean by branding exactly?
So I mean, like how Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Joe Fraser, I'll use those three as examples. They all seem to be their own brand as a boxer. Like, yes, they're all heavyweight boxers, but Muhammad Ali, he was the
you could put him on a t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Like conscientious objector. I'm not going to fight in Vietnam.
Civil rights,
Nation of Islam, all of this stuff. It's like, alright, cool. I get what you're that thing over there.
Yeah.
George Foreman, I think he was from the South. Yeah, he's from this. In fact, Joe Fraser, he's kind of what Rocky was built on. Like, he's the original Philadelphia.
Aggressive.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you see George, you're like, all right, that's an aggressive. And then what's his name? George Foreman, the heavy hitter, the big new kid on the block, the heavy hitter. So you're like, okay, cool. Each of these guys have given us. There's a brand or a story about them.
Okay.
And that's enough on its own to create the fights. Now it kind of feels like, all right, we just need Anthony Joshua with Lucozade and Under Armour and all of these other brands that are trying to attach themselves to the boxers. It just taints it a little bit because it's like, without that, someone like a Daniel Dubois might not be seen as much. Not because he's not as good at boxing, but it's just because he hasn't got those other things, the other machines and brands and the endorsements to push him into the limelight of like, yo, care about this guy.
So you think that for that reason him and Anthony Joshua couldn't?
No, I don't think they would. I don't think they would do
successful on a neutral soil, like maybe in another continent. Because the reason why I bring this up is not only to make the comparison of how fighters fighting on neutral soil, like let's say the Manila story, the Manila fight, and of course we've got to throw Rumble in the Jungle in there as well.
Definitely.
Those were huge successful fights. So you're trying to say that Joshua, let's say, or Dubois, they really can't hold their own on a neutral soil, like, and hold a big fight, like a successful commercial fight.
I think they struggle.
You'll struggle,
I think they struggle. Which is sad to say. But
Yeah. But at the same time, the reason why I'm bringing it up as well, is because you do know they were planning Africa, possible Riyadh season to go to Africa.
Interesting. I think they should.
Yeah. And one of the names that people were thinking of and talking about was possibility of Anthony Joshua and Martin Bakoli. So do you think that if that could ever happen, that it could be successful in Africa?
Yeah, definitely.
But it's a bit easier as well because they're both of African blood.
That's what I was
really.
going to say. Yeah, like,
I mean?
I feel like that one, especially if they're like, we're doing it in Nigeria. It's like, come on, man. Yes, there's such an easy way to promote this. Like, that's just heritage. Like, you can definitely go.
And Nigerians they love spending money.
They'll go and watch it, and especially if you can attach it to, I don't know, some other form of entertainment or something else that's going on a similar time, maybe like a country's Independence Day or
exactly.
Or do you know what I mean? Yeah, just stuff like that fills people with some spirit or patriotism or like.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So I could definitely see it happen. I hope it happens. I hope it does.
Yeah. But imagine how many things that we can unfold to talk about. Just by mentioning George Foreman's name.
Yeah.
To show you how great he is. R.I.P. to George Foreman. Oldest heavyweight champion in the history of the sport. Now passed away. At age 76, right? And how old was he when he won the title the very last time?
I think he said he was 46.
46. Yeah. At age 46, that made him the oldest heavyweight champion ever in the history of the sport. So he's done tremendous things in the sport, you know, and that made him 2 times heavyweight champion. We already spoke about how he, you know, he beat Frazier for the for his first championship, you know. So yeah, 2 times heavyweight champion. He's an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
We talked about the George Foreman grill.
I think he was a pastor at one point as well.
Pastor, so a man of God as well.
Yeah.
Greatness. And then, of course, you know, we mentioned the fighters is beating some of the notable names: Ken Norton, Joe Frazier twice, you know, and then Michael Mora for the championship.
Yeah.
You know, and great job by you know, by George Foreman to have taken on the very young Michael Morrison. Was it Michael Morrison? Was that his name, Michael Morrison?
Mora.
What was his first name?
Mora. Is that who?
No, that was Michael Mora, the one young fighter that he fought for the vacant.
Yeah.
I think that was just the fight before Mora.
Mora. I don't remember his first name.
Something Morrison, yeah. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, because he was dangerous, man. He was very dangerous. We know he lost, but we know George lost, but yeah, man. Goes to show you that even towards the end of his career, he was still taking dangerous fights.
Exactly, still at it.
His final fight was in 1997.
Crazy.
Versus who?
Ooh.
Let's go, champ! Let's go, champ!
Wait.
Briggs! Shannon Briggs!
Is that who he fought?
Shannon Briggs! Shannon Briggs, my guys, my people. So goes to show you, yeah, this man was taking hard fights upon hard fights his whole career, my guys, my people, making history, you know what I mean, solidifying his legacy, you know what I'm saying. So now that he's no longer with us, we just take this time and, you know, just remember him for the joy that he's brought to us.
Yeah, no, facts.
You know, so RIP to you know, Joe Frazier, and you know, wish all, how can I put it, the best time for his family right now. You know, just pray that God is with them, you know what I'm saying, and you know, be with them at this time of their great loss. You know, just to put it simply, because I'm not really the man for doing these type of things, you know.
No, you did well though.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm really not. It's not in my personality at all. I get lost for words. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's it. You know, on this one, before you leave, my guys, my people, do like, do share, subscribe, of course.
Of course.
Drop the comments below, innit?
Yeah, man.